Hey, welcome everyone to Movie Enthusiasts. My name is Richard and I'll be your host for today. Actually, I'll be your host every time we have a video because this is my channel. Um, so today, as you see, we're doing a review for Jumanji. Welcome to the Jungle review. I will admit there eventually will be spoilers, but I'm going to start off with just a basic review for those of you who just want to know if you should go see the movie or not. I'm going to give a little bit of what's in it and what's not. Okay. So, first, foremost, movie, absolutely loved it. It's great. Um, it's technically a sequel to the movie Jumanji from with Robin Williams in it back from the 90s. Though it can actually act as its own standalone, you do not actually need to go back and see the first Jumanji with Robin Williams. Um, the movie is great, absolutely funny. Appropriate. Uh, I don't personally think so, but they could be inappropriate for other people. Um, Essentially, they're just jokes about a man's lower body part, no actual sex jokes and stuff like that. Just funny things, such as uh, how easy it is to pee for a man. Just little jokes like that, not overly complex. For parents, I'd probably say go watch it first and then take your kids. But otherwise, fantastic movie. I'd say give it 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10, however you want to rate it. I give it the highest score. Okay? So, now I'm going to go ahead and go into spoilers. I'm going to talk about what the actual story is. I'm going to talk about why I loved it so much. If you don't want any of these spoilers, please exit the movie, give me a like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to do more of these more and more often. All right, so what's the story about? So Jumanji is a board game. In the Robin Williams movie, it was a board game that brought things, either took you into the game or brought things out of the game that made it a little bit dangerous. And made it a little dangerous to play. So coming into this movie, um, the game was buried on the beach, and a dad running on the beach finds it, picks it up, takes it home. He gives it to his son, who, and this is all set in the 90s, who was playing a video game at the time. He looks at the game. A little bit later, the game, sensing that he won't play it unless it's a video game, changes itself into a video game. He notices it, thinks it's cool, puts it in, plays it, and gets sucked into the game. Okay, fast forwards to the year 2017, which, upon being, it introduces four separate teenagers. We got the typical, I'm going to call him nerdy, really smart young man. Then you got the jock, football star athlete, doesn't really want to do his own homework, so he's asking this nerdy guy to do the homework for him. You got another very smart girl, nerdy girl, who's the bookworm, just doesn't really know, doesn't want to be physically active and all that. And then herself with the phone, doesn't really care what other people are doing. She's always on the phone. She can't live without the phone. Take that into the picture. Can't live without the phone. Phones. Okay, great message about phones in this movie. So, uh, they all get in trouble and somehow. The jock and the two guys, they get discovered that the smart guy's doing the jock's homework, and so they get detention. Class, so she gets detention, and then the preppy girl was using her phone during a test, but she wasn't actually using the phone to cheat. She was FaceTiming someone who was also in school at the same time. So all four of them got detention. And upon what was specified for them to be doing during detention, they find a video game system with the game Jumanji, and they were like, okay, hey, let's play it. And so they play it, they choose their characters, and get sucked into the game. Now, remember, 2 guys, 2 girls. Okay? So, come into the video game, and you find The Rock, the Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, and Karen Gillan. Math. 2 girls, 2 guys. Not really. It was 3 guys and 1 girl. So, each had been taken up to this body of this character of the character for the game, but he ended up being The Rock, a very brawny, strong man. The jock, the guy who's the big old athlete, he gets Kevin Hart's character, short, not quite so athletic, and very wimpy. Then you got Jack Black. He's overweight, and he gets the preppy girl. The preppy girl gets him. And finally, you got Karen Gillan is the bookworm, and she doesn't feel good about herself. Throughout this movie, they have to learn to work together. The video game gives them 3 lives, so they can die 3 times. They're given strengths and weaknesses. Each of their weaknesses will kill them instantaneously. Like Kevin Hart's character has a weakness of mosquitoes. Getting bit by a mosquito makes him explode. So just go throughout the game. The premise of the game is find the jewel, take it to its shrine, and put it back. There are guys who want the jewel back for their own power, and they're going to use animals which the jewel allows them to control to attack you. So they're voting all these mercenaries and trying to get back to the game, and there's a lot of infighting within each other. And eventually they find that guy from back in the 90s still stuck in the game. He's down to 1 life, and he's being played by the character of Nick Jonas. If you guys don't remember who Nick Jonas is, go back to the early 2000s, go back to the Disney Channel, and you got the Jonas Brothers. Yeah, one of the youngest brother of those 3. He's in the movie. So you got those 5 characters, and so they're going about, and they eventually return the jewel, and they learn some valuable lessons. One, don't be so self-absorbed. You can be friends with anyone, and yeah, this is essentially this. Put down your phone. Definitely put down your phone. Eventually, all 4 of them become friends. The guy from the 90s gets sent back to the 90s, and he gets a wonderful life. And they find him older now, but in good shape. So, why did I like this movie so much? It had some great humor. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it has some kind of funny humor, and some inappropriate humor about the male parts. I thoroughly enjoyed some of those humors. Some of the jokes were about height. Kevin Hart's character, when he's a teenager and outside in the real world, he's tall, athlete, football guy. And then Kevin Hart's actually a really short dude, so he makes the joke that I'm missing the whole 2 feet above me. But my favorite character actually was Jack Black's, because Jack Black is this middle-aged, fat dude, and he's being channeled by a girl, a teenage preppy girl. So there are some points where she has to learn about her anatomy. So there's some fun jokes about that, about her learning about the guy's part. Nothing inappropriate, never shows anything. So there was some funniness in there. Um, had a great story. I just absolutely love the story. Um, and then also I've been hearing a lot about the Carrie and Gillian's clothes, how there is just a tube top and short shorts, and how that's very sexist and demeaning. Um, you just got to think about this. The reason why and this is my personal view. I'm not actually sure what the actual developers or the producers actually have in reasoning for this, but um, video games are not very nice to women in general, in terms of uh, modesty. Um, Especially back in the 90s, when most video games were predominantly for teenage guys. Um, and so they're taking this form of a 90s video game, and so they're obviously going to show exactly what the 90s video games portrayed a woman as. And if you look at back Pitch Black or all these other games from the 90s, which have female characters, even going back to the early 2000s, or nowadays, it's not as bad, but you look at the female characters and they're usually not dressed practically. Karen Gillan's character actually makes a joke about this, um, is saying, uh, why am I wearing this? This is not practical in a jungle. I should be covered head to toe. But then again, it's because of the culture of the video games at the time. Um, they were not dressed very appropriately, and it was actually just, to be honest, just a callback to that. Um, Maybe they did that on purpose to get that outrage, so that eventually more video games nowadays will be a lot more appropriate with the women what they're portraying. So, but I absolutely loved it. Went and saw it with my wife. She loved it too. We left laughing and we're very happy with the movie. We're definitely considering buying it when it comes out on DVD. But yeah, any questions, comments, please comment down below. Let me know. If you have any suggestions about other movies you want me to review, let me know. I'm going to generally keep them clean. Let you know if it's worthy for a family or not. Reminder, I will not watch rated R movies, horror movies, or uh, movies with high amounts of sex like 50 Shades of Grey or stuff like that. Um, I don't feel comfortable watching those movies. Don't like watching them, so I'm just gonna stay away from them. So if you want if you want reviews on that, go find someone else to do it. I will give you reviews on anything else: PG, PG-13, G, um, superhero, action, sci-fi, uh, kid comedy, as long as clean comedy and stuff like that. I'll do new movies. I'll do old movies. The new movies, I'm not gonna guarantee I can get to very quickly, but I will get to what I can. So yeah, let me know what I should do next. Just comment down below. Subscribe. I'm gonna try to do new videos every Friday. Thank you very much, guys. See ya.